Hey, what's up? Kevlin here, and I am back for another Q&A. Unfortunately, Petunia is not with me. She just ate, and I need to give her at least 24 hours to digest. So, she's chilling. She's just not here with me right now. But that will not stop me from answering some of these questions. So, let's get started. All right, I have some left over from last year when I left to start the ball rolling. So, we are going to start with Fletcher Rayleigh 8220. I am sorry in advance if I botch any names. But there's that one. And, a couple questions. One, do you think it was cruel that even though they made Cordelia pining over Crom permanently, she can't be paired up with him? I think from a fan standpoint, yeah, it's kind of mean because I know a lot of people will ship them together. From a personal opinion, though, I don't really care. 2. Does it seem silly that in Three Houses, despite Edelgard's talent for black magic, her unique class can't use magic at all? I actually did not know she was competent in magic. But if that is the case, I don't think so. Just because her upbringing, she probably doesn't feel comfortable around magic, especially dark magic, so she doesn't really want to deal with that kind of stuff. She'll let Hubert deal with that. 3. New one since I'm watching Petunia, Slither on your hood. Are you ever worried you'll tug on a cord or something and end up yanking her instead? I mean, it's not completely off the table. It might happen, but she's pretty smooth, and most of my, hoodies and stuff, they have, the very, I guess, the stereotypical feeling of, drawstrings, so it feels like a shoelace. So Petunia versus a shoelace is a pretty easy one because the shoelace does not move. Here are some of the new ones from a few of the posts I put up recently. Got Raven Aether 7.108. Number 1. If you wanted another remake of a past Fire Emblem game, which would you choose? I would choose Genealogy or 776. I would like them both to be released like a Fates Birthright Conquest kind of thing since they're so closely intertwined. I would love that. I would want to see it in the same art style and stuff as Echoes, except for the weapons and skills. Those are really weird. I probably would want to see those more akin to probably Awakening. Number 2, what were your thoughts on the Choose Your Legend 7 units? I don't remember who they were. I think it was Corrin, Golveg, Crom. No, not Crom. Robin and Soren. Okay. Sorry. I have a spoon for a brain. It doesn't retain information very well. I wasn't too happy with the polls, but I mean, what can I do? I'm just one person. I do like Soren, but I don't know if he's worth the status of brave hero. I feel like he just got shooed in because of Ike, and now that Soren is in, I feel like someone might say Mist or Titanier would be next up for the running, and there's nothing wrong with them, but if we're just going to keep starting a daisy chain reaction, it kind of takes away the specialness from it. Robin is I don't feel very strongly about Robin. He's an Avatar character. I am a little bit tired of seeing them, though. And on that note of Corrin, she's a very strange one. She, for me, is one of my favorite avatars, just because my Corrin turned out super OP. But a lot of people don't like her because of the personality aspect of it. They don't really like Corrin at all because of that. So I feel like they're just choosing her because she's a girl and apparently she's hot. So, I mean, all right then. Golveg, she's not a good villain. I wouldn't even say she's a villain. Yeah, she does bad things, but she's, sent in that direction because of what's-his-face. She looks really cool, though. I love the white and the gold, and of course I love the snakes. But, yeah, I did choose her, though, because I need another blue tome unit. So, yeah. Number 3, if money and resources weren't an issue, what would you dress up for as a cosplay con, Comic-Con, etc.? So, singularly by myself, I would probably say I want to do Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist. I have the coat. I just need to do the auto mail and get probably a wig, maybe some contacts. But if I had like a friend or like a group, I would love to do like a Fafnir Reagan cosplay. I would be down to do either of them. Fafnir might be easier because I just need to slick my hair back. I'm trying to get my roommate on the ship and drag her down with me. I also would love to do Shez or in Arvel. I'd be willing to do either or, whether it's male or female or just doing Arvel. I would be cool doing that. Though I think Arvel would be it would be an interesting project to take on. I don't know. I just really like Arvel's aesthetic. It's just really cool. Um, Number 4 might seem odd, but do you prefer analog clocks or digital clocks? There's pros and cons to both. Analog clocks, I am very bad with numbers and math, so they're a little bit harder to read, but they are a lot more reliable. Digital clocks are easier to read, but especially if it's a wristwatch and you press the wrong button, that thing will start beeping like a time bomb and it will not shut up. And if you turn it off, you turn the whole watch off and have to reset it. So, yeah, like the clock at work, it's a digital clock and it's 7 minutes ahead, I think, compared to the screen where we look for the clock in and clock out times. So, I've been trying to change that clock for 1.5 years now, and I don't know how to do it. Okay, number 5. Considering the time of your life right now, what is your favorite holiday? I do like Halloween a lot, just because I do like the spooky aesthetic, and if you're weird like me, you can go to, like, Michael's, and they're selling, like, golden snake wall hangers, and be like, yeah, that's a normal decoration that I can have in my house year-round. So, probably Halloween. I also just, like, the aspect of being able to like dress up. I can just pull something out of the closet. If I need to go somewhere, I don't go to parties. Like I said, I don't have friends, but I can pull something out of my closet. It gives me reasons to buy bags of Hershey's Kisses and candy and not be judged for it. Yeah, also one of my friends, his birthday is on Halloween, so when he was in town, we just smashed a piñata to pieces. We've had a Kirby-shaped one, and we've had a blue shell-shaped one. Number 6, this is probably a long answer, but if you could design the next Fire Emblem game to your taste, Fire Emblem 18, what new features would you put in it? Minor routes, splits, new classes, main characters, etc. Okay, so this is almost like a 2-part question. I feel like there's something like, if I was a game director, there are things that I would want to put in the game that I know fans would like. So I would do a Fire Emblem Awakening 2 called Fire Emblem Awakened. Very original, I know. It's still in the works. It would follow along the same generation. Well, not the same generation. Maybe like 2 or 3 generations down. And I don't think Grima would be coming back, but there would be like one character or something that's like, I'm going to do better than Grima did. And they're like this bumbling idiot and they're trying to get along with becoming evil, and everyone, like the main characters and like the Elysian descendants, they just kind of brush him off because he's like, oh, you're not a threat, you'll be fine. And then he unleashes doom and chaos upon the world. And at the very, very end, Tiki will sacrifice her life and she will die. That's like the secret plot twist. Instead of having your character decide who would deal the final blow, Tiki steps in and she's like, I can't keep living this nightmare over and over again, watching my friends die. Let me do something for you guys. So that would be that. If I wanted to make a game personally for myself, like what would I want? There'd be a fine border of character, like, I guess, tropes that I would want to bring back. It would definitely be cutscene heavy, and there would be a lot of, like, not like an insane amount of gore like a hacker and slasher movie, but there'd be enough gore. Like, if someone got stabbed and got their neck gashed open, you would see blood. And by the way, the average human has about 2 gallons of blood inside of them. I also would want to do a mix of original characters like based off of people who've inspired me and family and friends. Yeah, I would actually really like to take both of these, take this question, break it down into maybe a video or two and get really in depth to it. So if that's something you guys would want to see, I would love to do that. I don't know how I would execute it to make it interesting, but I'd totally be willing to take on that challenge. Thank you for all of those questions. That was kind of fun answering them. All right, next one is from Fire and Ice, 1999. Favorite Fire Emblem Fates character? Just not thinking, I would definitely say K's. He was the first character that I've ever S-ranked with. He's also just very nice. I've heard that he's boring, and I mean, to each their own. He's not like a stud muffin or something crazy like that, and he's not pulling off heists in the middle of the night. But there's just something really sweet and endearing, and some people just need that really stable constant in their life. Plus, he's also really good at listening, and he's really good at combat, so he's good. He's got both sides of what a retainer would need. And he's just really calm, and he's really patient with his family, like Seizo and Midori. And he just really brings out the best in people. He kind of makes me think of Ash from the Fodlan arc, where everyone just kind of likes him in-game, and he just brings out the best in everyone, and he's always just trying his best. So, definitely K's. Combat-wise, Ryoma, though. That man is an absolute beast, and he is amazing. Okay. Kokichi Grimleal 058. What are your top 10 favorite Fire Emblem characters? I'm honestly looking for some friends that also play Fire Emblem a lot. Okay. This also, again, this could be another video on its own, but not thinking, I'm going to say, got Marth, Ike, Dimitri, Reinhardt. I didn't think this would be hard. Did I say Dimitri already? Hold on a second.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
So this isn't like a definitive list. I did have to dig for this, though, because I can't count. So I got Marth, Ike, Dimitri, Lucina, Reinhardt, Navarre, Felix, Zelkov, Dagger, and Leone. If I had to do a top 10 video, I definitely would probably be refining that. Yeah, as for looking for friends that play Fire Emblem, I am more than willing to just hang out and talk about Fire Emblem, so feel free to shoot me a message, either YouTube or any of the social medias I have. Top 10 favorite Pokemon. I don't know. I was looking at this, and I didn't know if this counted like evolutions. Like, can I just say Squirtle 3 times? But if I could avoid saying Squirtle 3 times, hold on, I'm going to need to write these down again so I don't accidentally repeat myself.
2 very boring minutes later.
Another one, this is just a quick skim just so I remember how to count to 10. So I got Squirtle, Turtwig, Ekans, Shellos, Eevee, specifically Jolteon, Luxray, Torkoal, Seviper, Rowlet, and Greninja. If you cannot tell, I am a huge reptile person. Next one is from Axla Diana 1116. When did you first discover Fire Emblem? I discovered Fire Emblem probably around when Smash Bros. Brawl came out, so I had the Wii, so all of those games, but the first game I actually bought with my own money and finished was Fates, so I consider that my first Fire Emblem game, though my first taste of it was through Smash Bros. And Ike. That's probably why Ike is one of my favorite characters. He is amazing and sarcastic, and I love him. Anime Crossover 101. What other fandoms do you like? So obviously Fire Emblem, most Nintendo things, but specifically like Mario, Zelda, Kirby. Outside video games, I am a huge Warrior Cats person, so I've read all the books. I still have all the books. I really like SpongeBob. I haven't kept up with the newer seasons, mostly because I don't have cable. And yes, I've heard they're not as good as the other ones, but I'd totally be willing to watch them if I was able to. Ben 10, more specifically the classic from the road trip all the way up to the Ultimate Alien from the early to mid 2000s. That's the one I grew up with. I think there's a reboot for those. We don't acknowledge that reboot. I haven't finished Omniverse, but it's meh. I do want to finish it though because I've seen it this far through. So SpongeBob, Ben 10, Then right now I'm currently on a Full Metal Alchemist kick. If things are on set for scheduling, there might be some Full Metal Alchemist stuff coming out for FMA Day. I was tempted to make a video, but things are a little bit strange right now, so maybe next year. Though I will share this post that my friend found recently, and I just kind of thought it was funny, so maybe you guys will think it's funny. So there's this character, if you guys aren't familiar, his name is Solf J. Kimbley, and that's another can of worms what his first and middle name is. And how you spell his last name, that's another can of worms. But it's listed under my waifu list, so that's just my new running joke. Kimbley is my favorite waifu. Yes, and any of you that know what I'm talking about, I have seen both series and both movies. Haven't finished the manga. I know it's pretty close to the second series, but I only have up to like 10 or 11. But yes, that's still funny to me, and it probably always will be. Okay, so I believe that was it. Thank you guys so much for joining me and submitting questions. I love these random questions, so I'm going to say start dropping them down below for if I do another one. That could be tomorrow, or that might be a year from now. Who knows? But drop a few more questions down below. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and have a good one.